I can't believe it, but we've actually done it. This is the first pen to paper that's a real signing. That's not a loan. We bought this kid from Russia. Lokomotiv Moscow was his team. He has a lot of potential. I'm very excited to actually watch him play. He does have a few downsides, but it's nothing he can't learn. I heard he's a very intelligent player. He's like looking for flaws in his game all the time to get into and then learn from it. Him being around a lot of big stars currently on the team that have played for years and years can definitely help him with his flaws, and he'll be asking about his flaws to those types of players like Sane, like Torreira, and like Lemina, Davinson Sanchez. He This is an amazing transfer in my opinion. He comes in at, let's see the actual details of the contract. All right, so 25 million euros, pretty decent. It might have been a bit high, but I understand the Russia market at the moment. Getting players out of there, especially this guy. This guy's, I think, one of the best players in the Russian league currently. We're gonna look into that a little bit later. But 25 million euros, it's like a decent sum in my opinion. We're gonna have to pay 15% to Lokomotiv Moscow when we sell him to another team, which we probably will be able to sell this kid in at least 2-3 years, unless he completely flops and goes back to Russia, which I'm hoping on that not to happen. And we have him for 5 years. The contract is for 5 years, and there's actually a bonus that's 3.25 million euros. So everything seems really good for me. It's just I don't think there's details on his contract and how much money he's going to be getting himself, not the fee. And if he's staying under around 2 to 4 million euros a year, I'll be happy with that, because we have a lot of players that are getting way too high wages, and it's causing some problems on the team. Some players really want to try to get some better wages, and possibly trying to leave, or act like they want to leave and then get a pay raise. It's just the wages have been really, really weird with this current board, and I hope he's not going to be getting a lot more than 3 to 4 million in my opinion. I think I heard he was going to get around 3 mil, which is all right. So the thing I was saying about him being the best player in Russia is that he was literally the best in a lot of things in Russia last season. This is the last season's statistics, the general statistics. He's actually ranked number one as in the SofaScore ratings chart. He had 13 goals, 15 successful dribbles, 35 tackles, 9 assists, and then 76% accurate passing. This is amazing statistics, by the way. I'm gonna dive a little bit further into his actual statistics and his percentages in those statistics, but just looking off like regular, just statistics, just regularly. His 25-26. This is like last season. 36 matches, 17 goals, 10 assists. Him doing this at, I think he's 21 years old, is actually amazing. In any league you're in, he's doing this from the number 10 role, the attacking midfielder role, and if he somehow figures out how to play outside of Russia in a completely different league like Turkey is, and start to play in Champions League as well for the first time in his career, if he gels in, he could become something special, and he could be sold for a very, very high price later on in his career from us, which is very exciting. And then getting into the percentages thing I was just talking about. Before the percentages, sorry. This season, he already started, or he played 5 matches, 4 in the Russian league and then 1 in the cup. He doesn't have any goals or assists in the cup, but he has a goal and assist already in the Russian league, and this was while the rumors were going on that he was going to come to Galatasaray. So he might have been affected just a tiny bit, but probably not, because he was very excited to go. And there's actually a video of him and going to the stands, watching the match. I think with the fans, maybe, or it was after the match ended. He is announcing that he's going to be coming to Galatasaray, and it was his dream of playing in the Champions League and at a big European team. I wouldn't say we're a huge European team, but we're a big stepping stone outside of Russia to be a trial for his European debut, in my opinion. And then here, this is the heat map of Aleksey Batrakov last season. This is last season in the league. You can see he's a very central player. He doesn't really he gets into those box areas, but he's not very into the box type of player. This is the type of player he is, in my opinion. He's like a Mertens, a Dries Mertens that was possibly, I would say, after his physical attributes fell a little bit because of his age. He's that type of Mertens at the moment, and if he brings up his physical attributes a little bit more and more as his career goes on, like his speed, his stamina, and his agility, he could definitely become a younger looking Mertens, because Mertens, I think while he was younger, he was a lot more explosive and stuff like that, and then later on in his career, even though he was very old coming to us, later on in his career, late 30s, he started slowing down a lot more. And Aleksey Batrakov literally looks like that slow down Mertens that was dictating the play, that was getting those long shots, those sneaky little runs into the box, the sneaky little headers and stuff like that, and like volleys. It's like if he doesn't mess up, and we don't mess him up too, because there's a lot of players that we have messed up too, young players sometimes. He can be literally like the Mertens that we were missing, I'm gonna say, even though it's kind of like a big place to put him at early on. He can be this Mertens we were missing, but the Mertens, not the Napoli Mertens where he's like completely explosive. He can play striker, he can play left wing, right wing, attacking midfielder. Not like that. This guy can be like the brain of the team. You know what I mean? It's just it was amazing to see some of his highlights and stuff like that I watched. It's giving me some exciting times, in my opinion, and him coming to us over another team. But I think it was because of him not going to PSG. I'm just going to talk about it really quickly. They wanted him a lot, I think, but since they had a lot of players around those positions, I don't think they really did want him. He was just kind of on the list that if some players leave, we can definitely go for this guy. And also it was because of a political thing between some European leagues and like countries in Europe not being able to buy from Russia directly because of the ongoing war in Ukraine and Russia. And Turkey has had a neutral standing, and a standing where they're trying to stop the war from both sides, try to talk to both of the leaders from both sides to try to stop it, so they're not heavily on one side. So that's why the Russia embargo, I'm pretty sure it's called, isn't a thing for the Turkish Super League. And other than that, sorry, I just kind of got sidetracked into some sort of politics. This is a season performance per 90 I'm gonna go for, so we can see more of a percentage wise thing and decimals and percentages for last year in the Russian league. So if it's green, this means he's been doing it a lot more, and his average is a lot higher than the other players in his position. So shooting is freaking amazing, in my opinion. His shooting, I watch a lot of comps and highlights of him. He has an amazing volley. His heading, for how short he is surprisingly amazing. It's like some sort of João Neves kind of heading. Maybe not as good because João Neves has been doing it for a while, and he's been really solid at that heading. He's like that sneaky guy that comes in and gets a header in somehow, some way. It's not because he jumps really high. It's just because of the sneakiness he has. And his volleys are amazing, and his like finesse is pretty decent. Not really outside of the box, more so inside, because he doesn't, I think, have a lot of outside of the box goals. He's more of an inside guy, but he can also do it like right outside of the box. And then when we get into his passing, he has a lot of assists. He has a lot of expected assists. His long balls are decent in my opinion. He creates a lot of chances. His what's it called, key passes. The pass that gets to a assist or a shot. I'm sorry, not an assist because that would be called an assist. Is very very like it's a lot because the amount he does, I think it was like 3 key passes per game, which is amazing because that can lead to a lot of scoring chances. That's what chances created is. I think this literally is the key passes right here, because I was saying 3. This is very high, like 96 percentile of the the league, the whole league. I'm pretty sure this is, and him being able to do this, I don't know what the percentile is with like Yunus Akgün, the guy that's currently playing our number 10, our attacking midfielder position, but I think it's a little bit lower. It should be a little bit lower because of the inaccuracy of his passes, and trying to see when some sort of players are gonna run in behind, when to pass it, and all that. Especially when you have Osimhen, you have to have a very very big brain to be able to pass it to him, and that's why Mertens actually worked with him because they played before, and Mertens has the mental readiness of he was like past his 30s. He's been an amazing player his whole career. He knew how to pass. He knew how to when the players would move for him and all that. Still hasn't figured that out perfectly, but if this is a sign that Batrakov can be like Mertens, this is an amazing sign because if he can deliver passes that we've seen with Mertens and Osimhen in the previous years in the 25-26 season, we're in for a treat with Batrakov. And then quickly, his possession stats. He's an alright dribbler. He's not anything crazy in my opinion. He sometimes holds onto the ball for too long, just a little bit too long. But I think he can definitely learn a lot of stuff from good dribblers on this team like Sane, and how to get rid of the ball quickly like Torreira, if Torreira doesn't leave. His dribbling, it's 50%, 68th percentile of the Russian league. It's all right. It's nothing crazy. I think he can definitely, build on that, and I'm hoping to see that he builds on it. His duels won, for an attacking midfielder, of course, it's going to say 23.9 percentile of the whole league because he's an attacking player, but sometimes he drops a lot into the central midfielder position or like that defensive midfielder position to try to win some balls back. He's very very aggressive, which I love, and aggressive not meaning like fouling and stuff like that. He's aggressive in wanting to win the ball back very quickly, and his duels won is 51%, which is 86.7 percentile of the Russian league, which is insanely high for a attacking player, which is actually amazing to see. And I think he's going to fit in very nicely with our pressing tactics with Okan Buruk. I just want to see him on the field already. Like I don't think we're going to be able to see him against Erzurumspor on Friday. Actually, I'm recording this on Friday right now, so today it's just nighttime. I just can't wait to see. Batrakov. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to, go to Erzurum because he wasn't already included in the camp before. I think one day before the camp is released. That's when we all know how many players and who's gonna go to the camp. So yeah, he signed yesterday. So today we have a game. Yeah, it's kind of mixed up, but we're definitely gonna see him in week 3. So I'm very excited to see that. And his defending is, nothing being read here is actually amazing for attacking midfielder. So we can also play him sometimes, I think, at the 8, the box-to-box, center midfielder role, which is really nice. And then he gets a little bit of, yellow cards. Yellow cards are kind of high, so it's in the red for attacking midfielder type player. But I heard he is the captain of, Lokomotiv Moscow, and he's a captain at 21 years old, which is actually amazing for his mental state for us to know about. And I think that's why he kind of gets a little bit more yellow cards and have his aggressiveness maybe time to time, maybe physically, maybe mentally and verbally. So I'm not sure about that exactly. And then there's actually a cool new website that I found. This is what's it called? This is literally called 14 foreign, which means that the 10 plus 4 rule, the foreign rule that we have. So 10 any age players that we can pick, and then 4 is for the under 23 age type players. So quickly for this, I just want to show you guys what our current lineup is looking like and who actually we can get based off the news that I'm actually about to show you guys here. So first, what our current lineup can look like is currently this. Let me get into the screen for you guys. All right, like this. Okay. So this is what I'm expecting will happen. I'm just gonna design it real quick. Let's see. So Mario Lemina would go there. Batrakov right here. I don't know why there's two Batrakovs, but whatever. We're just gonna deal with it. Yunus, okay. So currently, this is the lineup that we would have. It would be Osimhen, Barış, Yunus, Sane, Sara, Torreira, Sanchez, Abdülkerim, Jakobs, Singo, and Urcan. I'm gonna actually remove some players from this because it's not really realistic. I think Berat Lush is gonna be sent on loan. I think we're gonna keep all these players in the attack right here. We have Batrakov right here, brand new ad. Ayub Aydin, I think, is going to be sold. He's a last year of his contract, sold or, let go free. Srachan Nas, just loan. And then this is the extra Batrakov that we had, so I'm just going to sell him real quick. And then here, let's see. Ali Yeşilyurt, sorry. Already went on loan, I'm pretty sure. I think we're going to keep Kazımcan and Yusuf Sivaslıoğlu. Nelson's going to be sent out on free or with some sort of pay. I'm not even sure. And then loan for Yelert and loan for Metehan Baltacı. So which we now have is this team right here. So what we're missing is a backup striker because although Yuzgic, is a an academy player at the moment, and he could be maybe a decent third option, but I think we're going to be using Barış as a third option at the moment. But we're going to definitely need a striker. We're going to need a backup left winger, definitely, because we don't have that. We have 3 right wingers. Barış can play the right wing, Yunus can play the right wing, and Sane. And then we also have him, Can Armando Güner, as, the 4th backup to the right wing position, which is funny. But he's a very, young, potentialed kid. So hopefully we get to see him a lot more in the cups that we play during the season. And then we have Sara İlkay Gündoğan as the playmaking type midfielder, and then we have the crazy running type CDM, that could run up and down or sometimes box crash if they want to. Jakobs, Eren Elmalı, and Kazımcan on the left back. Singo, Şalay, and Yusuf Sivaslıoğlu at the right back, and our center backs are very limited as well. I'm actually expecting, if we get rid of Lemina, I'm expecting a left center back position transfer, so that might be something that we can look forward to with this team. And actually I'm gonna just move like this. I'm gonna go like this right here, which is a little bit clearer to see that we have Kaan Ayhan or Mario Lemina backing up the center back role more so, and then we have this type of midfield rotation. And then who can we get at the moment? So I'm expecting a Noah Long transfer, which is going to make him go to the left wing right here, as you guys can see. Now the left wing is Noah Long. At the moment I do see Noah Long behind or in front of Leroy Sané, but I don't think that's going to be happening, so I'm just going to switch it back real quick. So I think this is the type of lineup we would go with if we actually get rid of Mario Lemina or Torreira. I think Lemina might go. We have one more foreign player that we can actually pick that's any age. It's actually really, really hard because I don't really know because of the striker situation right now. I think we're trying to go for Demirovic from Stuttgart, but I don't know if we're going to actually transfer him in. But let's say we just did it. We're just going to do it quickly. Lemina, we're going to sell him, and then we get Demirovic. Where's Demirovic? Let's see. Ermedin Demirovic right here. So we add him to the striker role, and this is what our lineup would actually look like without Lemina. That would be 2 more transfers, I think. Let me just look at this real quick. So Galatasaray, after the Batrakov transfer, is only looking for a left wing and a striker. So wow, okay, so just 2 more transfers if we... Wow, okay. This is problematic. If we don't get rid of Lemina, we might need to use the left wing or the striker as any age, and then the other one's going to be U23. I think that would be way smarter to do instead of getting rid of Limina, because I'm not going to lie, if we get rid of Limina and we don't get a backup center back, we were going to have Kanahan and Arda Unyay backing up to Kerem Bardakçı and Davinson Sanchez, which is, I don't want to see that at all. I do not want to see that at all. So that's actually very, very scary. But we can play with this a little bit more another day, but I just wanted to show you guys this cool website I found. I've been playing around with it on my off time, but yeah. So getting into the news now, I just showed you guys this. After the Batrakov transfer is finished, we're actually going to look for a left wing and then a backup striker. The left center back is, off the shelf now. Like, we don't really care about it. I don't know why. This is actually a very big problem that we have. We have to have a better, center backup, but I'm just not going to say anything more about it. Singo actually, I heard a Newcastle actually wanted him for how many pounds was it? Like 34 million pounds, which equals to around 40 million euros, 41 million euros, I think. When I saw this report, I said, please sell this guy immediately. Please sell him. It's not because I don't like him. It's not because he's not a good player. He gets injured so often. He's very injury prone. If we get 41 to 42 million euros for this guy, I would immediately accept it. Even though right here what this news article says, Singo wants to play one more year and then he wants to leave. He wants to show himself a little bit more in Champions League to get some bigger clubs' interest. But like, this might be really good for us, or this might be really bad for us, because in my opinion, Singo, I love you, man, but like, you might need to go. Like, if we accept this Newcastle thing, you might need to go just play in the Premier League, focus on trying to get some European contention with Newcastle, which might be the best for Newcastle and you, because you play like 2 out of 3 matches in a week or something like that, and then you're just out for like 2 months. We don't see you for 2 months, man. It's actually really sad to say, even though I love this guy, he's an amazing freak athlete, and he can be our starting right back over Shalai every single day of the week, but his injury proneness is killing us there. It's just so bad. And like, I wish we could play him at center back or like some sort of defensive midfielder role or some sort of center midfielder role, but he doesn't do it amazingly, and his injuries just keep him back so much, which is just so sad to see. But I would take that 40 million euros and run with it if I was Galatasaray's board right now. And this is the thing I wanted to talk about really quickly. Torreira, there's some rumors saying like he wants to leave this to Fiorentina, back to his old team that we got him from, and he's only doing it because he had a promise made by our board, that he was going to get a little bit more money every single year from his first paycheck. And it's just, we keep promising these pay bumps, right? And we don't deliver on them immediately until they threaten us that they're going to leave, which is sad to see for both Torreira being a very big player of our team, but especially the board, because of the promises that they make and the salaries that they give to other players that don't deserve it. Because this is what I wanted to talk about earlier in the video. Singo is getting a 6 million euro salary, while Torreira and Davinson, they're getting like around 4 to 5 million euros. I think like 5.5, something like that, and Singo's getting around like 6.5, which is very sad to see. Singo, just because we bought him for a crazy price and he is a really amazing player, we gave it to him before thinking about his injury proneness. He's making 6 million by sleeping. Well, not sleeping exactly, like that's hard to say, but basically just quickly, I want to say like sleeping for like 2 months, playing 3 games, 4 games, and then another 2 months he's out. It's actually very sad to see how we manage this sort of payroll on this team. I'm happy for Nelson. Nelson is going to go. It's saying that we're going to be getting rid of his contract, paying the rest of his salary to him, and then I think he said he's going to be going to like Monza or something like that. So Milan is actually saying 60 million euro or 50 million plus 10 million bonuses, and after that final like offer that Milan is saying to us, we just backed off this transfer, which is I'm very very happy with. And then there's a new thing that I heard I think yesterday. Ismail Assar, they're asking a 30 40 or no, we actually made this offer 30-40 million euro offer, and it got rejected. I think they want like 60 or something like that. This guy is an amazing player, but he is not under 23 years old. That's one thing. And then the second thing is that um, he would play in front of Sane or behind Sane, and that's just not going to work out unless we get rid of Sane. So I don't know how that's going to be working out. And I think they did want 60 million for this guy, which our board I think is completely against 60 million for this guy, and I'm also against it. 60 million is actually insane for, I think this is like a 28, 29 year old that he just had one really really breakout season, which was last year, even though it is recent. But like, this guy's not a Osimhen, this guy's not a just like a freaking Harry Kane. I don't know, like I think Harry Kane would be worth around there just because of his age, but just this one I'm just trying to say, it's like very very hard to see. Like Greenwood came to this team for to this team, sorry, to Fenerbahce for 40 million, something like that. This guy's not going to be coming here for freaking like 60 million, and he's like 6 years older than Greenwood coming to this league. So I don't think this transfer is going to be happening anytime soon. This would be the stupidest thing that we ever do if Renato Niaga is loaned out to Monza. This is very very stupid. This is one of the only super agile, super athletic players that we currently have in the role of the 6 to 8 position, the central defensive midfielder and the central midfielder. We don't have any other dribbler there. If we slide Batrakov to a central midfielder position, he can be a decent dribbler there maybe. But this guy, he gets fouls, he gets fouled. He dribbles, he tries. He gives his all. He's trying to actually show himself, and he's trying to give 100% of himself in every single match that he gets an opportunity, which is amazing to see. And I have really high hopes for him as well. But he needs to work on just a little part of his game. To be honest, he still needs to work on a decent amount of a part of his game. And then this is another really really stupid thing. If we get rid of Singo or Shalai from the right back position, we're gonna be getting Bowie again. Sasha Bowie is going to be coming back or something like that. If we do get rid of Wilfried Singo for 40 mil, I'll be okay with it just because of the amount of money we're getting for Singo. But using a any age foreign player from the 10+4 rule on a right back again after getting rid of one that's any aged, which is Singo or Shalai, is very stupid. We would have to go for a U23 and under 23 immediately in that position if we're getting rid of either Singo or Shalai. So I don't understand this rumor at all. I hope it's not real, and I hope it doesn't happen. Even though I love Sacha Boey, by the way. And then this is actually kind of exciting. Papa Matar Sarr, even though he's not of the under 23, he's the any age foreign player. I heard that he's open to coming, and we already agreed to terms with him. But it's just that I think it's the foreign rule that's we're having a problem with. We would have to get rid of either Lemina or Torreira or Singo or someone like that. That's any age again, and that's how we can bring him in. He would add a lot of dynamics to his team. To be honest, playing very box to box very nicely. His long shots are pretty good, and his defensive contributions, just because of his physical attributes and of his explosiveness that Torreira doesn't really have, is decent. But I haven't really watched a lot of him, and unless he some sort of concrete stuff happens with him, I might actually watch him and give you guys a better rundown on him. But it's an exciting name, but we would have to get rid of 1 to 2 any aged players again. And then this is the other Sarr now, the right winger, not the center midfielder. We are actually thinking, this is 8 hours ago, we're thinking about giving another offer to Crystal Palace, and that the player's down to already come. I don't know if it's over 40. I don't know. If it's over 40, it's going to be a problem, and we do have to get rid of at least 2 players to bring in both the SARs, which is a hard ask at the moment in my opinion. And just finally, for the news section that I want to go over, Batrakov says that I want to win a lot of cups with this team, trophies with this team, and he's going to do everything in his hand to be able to get to that with this team. And he wants to get the first position in the league already, and not let go, which is amazing to see. And then he's always wanted to play in the Champions League. It's been a dream of his, and he's going to be able to do it this season since we're in Champions League, and he just wants to win every single trophy that we have to offer for him at the moment. And he's saying that the fans, being behind him and all that is making his worries go away, and he wants to show that to us already. He's very, very hyped to actually go onto the field immediately and try to show that to us. And then I'm going to switch over here. And then tomorrow's game, this is the possible lineups already that came out. I think it's going to be the same exact lineups from last week. We're going to have Uğurcan Çakır at goalkeeper, Jakobs, Abdülkerim Bardakçı, Davinson Sanchez, Roland Şalay, Torreira, Sara in the midfield, Yunus Akgün, Barış Alper, and Sane here, and then Victor Osimhen, of course. And I don't really know a lot about Erzurumspor. I just watched their first game of the week last week. First game of the year last week, and they didn't look amazing, even though I think at least 2 of their goals, I think it was like 1 to 2, at least 1 or 2 of their goals, they were robbed of. And I believe, they should have been given those goals, in my opinion. It was kind of sad to see that the referee kind of, took away those goals. And other than that, they didn't really look amazing. Hopefully we can, get rid of them in the first half immediately, 2-3 goals in the first half, get it over with. And then in the second half, we can, play a little bit more relaxed, get some youngsters in maybe, and try to, finish off the game without, getting scored on, maybe scoring 1 or 2 more. It's just hopefully this, I'm not going to lie, the team played very good last season against Çorumspor. Galatasaray played very well, but it's just that we had those personal mistakes during the game from of course Davinson Sanchez, Uğurcan Çakır, and who was the last player that I was talking about? I think it was literally those 2. The first goal, it was just Uğurcan not reaching for the ball completely from, I think it was a finesse shot outside the box. The first goal was a finesse shot outside the box. Uğurcan Çakır just thought it was going to go out or something like that. He just didn't want to reach for it. He thought it was going to go out. So that was like one decent mistake that led to the first goal. And the second mistake, it was both Davinson Sanchez and Uğurcan's fault, in my opinion. Mostly, of course, Davinson Sanchez, because he thought he had to control the ball, and he had a decent pass back to Uğurcan, but that wasn't what he was thinking. It didn't work out that way. The pass was super, super short. The guy comes in, steals it one-on-one with Uğurcan, even though Davinson does kind of catch up to maybe do something, but he doesn't. He couldn't do it. Uğurcan comes off his line way too much, not thinking Davinson's going to catch up, and they're caught out, both of them together. So it was just personal mistakes that led to those 2 goals that brought Çorum FK back into the game. And other than that, I think the team played very well in the first half. In the second half, we were decent. We just couldn't get those long shots to go in, and that's where I'm very excited for Aleksey Batrakov. Hopefully, he can open up those types of park the bus type matches where the opponent is playing kind of a park the bus / a counter attacking type of gameplay. So it's just very exciting to see. And today, after the Erzurumspor Galatasaray match, I will be making another video of the match, and talking about the match after the match, and hope to see you all there.